أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for showing up. We're continuing our discussion on the 17th word. The verse that we have been discussing and continuing to discuss on is, in the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate, that which is on earth we have made as a glittering show for the earth, in order that we may test them. As to which of them are best in conduct. Verily, what is on earth we shall make but as dust and dry soil. What is the life of this world but play and amusement? So briefly, this word is concerned with the verses I just read. And it's mainly asking the question, well, what do we do with our time here then? Just like the verse is suggesting, we have a glittering show, but then it turns to dust and soil. And then it's suggesting that life is nothing but play and amusement. So how do I handle this? And how do I use belief in order to find what I need? So for today, I personally like what we're about to read. We're really asking the question of how can I get comfort in a temporary world? We're not asking what is comfortable. We're not asking how can I get comfortable for a few minutes. No, we're actually asking a question that I think I can be scared to ask, which is, I want a solution to this temporariness. I want to feel comfort. So how can I get comfort in a temporary world for good, basically? So the reading, I think the reading helped me to be brave and ask the question and to see the possibilities of different perspectives. So I'm ready to share the reading. Let's go right into it. So basically the author is saying that this is a supplication which occurred to him in Persian. It says, this supplication occurred to my heart in Persian and was therefore written in that language. It was first included in my published work. I'm worried I'm not going to pronounce this word correctly. It's spelled H-U-B-A-B, Hubab.
Doesn't matter, really.
Doesn't matter, yeah. So he's saying, oh, my sustainer, heedlessly not trusting in you, but in my own power and will, I cast an eye over the 6 aspects, searching for a cure for my ills. Alas, I could find no cure for them, and I understood it was being said to me, "Are your ills not sufficient as cure for you?" Of course, this was very confusing for me the first time I read it. And many questions came to my mind. What illness are we talking about? How can a cure and an illness, how can the illness be a cure? And what does it mean really to not trust in God or not trust in my creator, but to trust in my own power and will?
It will make the following text make the distinction between what are we looking for, bodily or spiritually. I think as we go on, we will understand.
Okay, thank you. In heedlessness, I looked to pass time on my right, to find solace. But I saw that yesterday appeared to be my father's grave, and past time as the huge tomb of all my forebears. It filled me with horror rather than consolation. Okay, so here he is, he's trying to find solace or comfort. So he decides to look into the past. And in heedlessness, he found out that yesterday was all about basically the end of things, his father's grave and others' grave as well. So it filled him with horror. Whereas belief, he's saying, belief shows that horrific vast grave to be a familiar and enlightened meeting and a gathering of friends. So earlier he explained that heedlessness is not trusting in God, but focusing on power and will. Or he associated not trusting in God with heedlessness. And then he presented these two perspectives. What are your thoughts about this, or what are your feelings about this? Okay. If anything comes up, let me know. So then he's saying, I looked to the future on the left, but again, I could find no cure. For tomorrow appeared as my grave, and the future as the fast home of my contemporaries and the forthcoming generations. It offered not a feeling of familiarity, but one of fright. Whereas belief and the peace of belief shows that terrible huge grave to be a feast of the most merciful, in delightful palaces of bliss. Brother Ali, go ahead.
As we are reading, and we will continue to read, inshallah, this text, we will notice that if somebody believes in the fact that he or she is created, the word changes, understanding of the word changes. And if it doesn't, then the word has a completely different, hopeless appearance. Why? Now, this text is not really studying why do we believe, how do we believe. That is not the subject of this text. But the subject of this text is to offer us, make a comparison. If you don't believe in the fact that you are created and you have a creator, then you will have this kind of life, understanding. You cannot go beyond it, as it is described here. But if you accept that you have a creator and your body is not the source of anything at all, but your spirit is reminding you something, your human feelings. When you make a comparison between unbelief and belief in God, and it makes an offer now. The text is making an offer to us or offering us, compare it. Which one your human reality confirms better so that it doesn't contradict your reality. Your reality necessitates that, look, if you don't accept you have a creator, then you have to look for the solutions from yourself, from this world. If you accept the creator, you have to look for the solution from the fact that the universe and you yourself are created by a one who created the whole universe. In the language of the Quran, Rabbul Alamin. Now we will read this bearing this comparison. Which one is more appealing to me and more appropriate to my human reality? Accordingly, I will decide. Now, this text, the 17th word that we are reading, is not an observation of the universe and reasoning about its existence. No, it is just making a self-reflection within our own human reality. Inshallah, if we bear this in mind, I will say, look, which one is appropriate to my human nature? That is the question. Doesn't contradict my reality. So disbelief contradicts my reality. It puts me in total despair. That is what we are going to read, inshallah.
Thank you. Okay. Since no good appeared from the left either, I looked at the present day, and I saw that it resembled a bear. It was bearing my desperately struggling corpse. Belief shows the bear to be a place of trade and a glittering guest house.
This is an excellent comparison, actually. So do we see that we are on a bier? It means between the grave and previous existence. Our previous existence is gone. That is our reality. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow has not come yet. Today, I am waiting to go there. Now there will be an excellent word here to say that we are revolving into the future, which we don't know, leaving the past behind. These are very important analysis to accept my reality. What is my reality in this world? Okay.
Thus, I could find no cure from this aspect either. So I raised my head and looked at the top of the tree of my life. But I saw that its single fruit was my corpse. It was looking down on me from the treetop. Belief shows the tree's fruit to be not the corpse, but the worn-out home of my spirit, which will manifest eternal life and is destined for everlasting happiness, for which it has departed in order to travel among the stars. Despairing of that aspect too, I lowered my head. I looked and saw that the dust of my bones underfoot had mixed with the dust of my first creation. It offered no cure, but added further pain to my ills. Belief shows the dust to be the door leading to mercy and a curtain before the halls of paradise. I turned away from that too and looked behind me, where I saw a transient world without foundation, revolving and departing in the valleys of nothingness and the darkness of non-existence. It was no salve for my ills, it rather added the poison of horror and fright. Belief shows the world revolving in darkness to consist of missives of the eternally besought one and pages of divine inscriptions, which having completed their duties and expressed their meanings, have left their results in existence in their place. Go ahead.
No, that is an excellent understanding. This world is continuously changing, and my life is revolving from past to future, which I mentioned earlier. But this one, the way it is put here, from now, the world revolving in the darkness of the consist of missives of the eternally besought one and pages of divine inscription. What is going on here? Although the universe is continuously changing, it doesn't mean that going into non-existence. I imagine this, a pen is writing something on the page. This is the universe, is the page. Now, when we look at the pen, where it is now, it represents the present time. Now, it has written something, but we can only see the tip of the pen. You can imagine now. And tip of the pen is continuously moving, but demonstrating the qualities of the writer, knowledge of the writer. So as you follow the pen, body, and those people who don't really accept, if we Now, those forget about it for ourselves. If we ignore the creator, we will say, look, the pen is continuously going. I'm missing it, I'm missing it. But if we believe that it is under the control of a conscious writer, we will say, wonder what it is writing there. So read it and see the meaning in what is written. Materialist approach doesn't see the meaning. It sees something is leaving a trace of ink on the page, and it has no meaning. Because it is not written by a conscious being. It means the universe is not created by a conscious being. Does it make sense now? That is why materialist people say universe has no meaning. Whatever happens naturally happens. There's no conscious writer. But belief says, no, the universe needs a conscious creator. If you confirm this or accept this, look at the universe. The universe is really revolving. My life is also revolving in it. And my creator is demonstrating its qualities in my being as well as in the universe. So I am a conscious being. I can read it. I can understand what is written. And I understand that these sentences or paragraphs, my life is a paragraph, not only but a sentence really. And it is meaningful. It cannot happen by itself. But it's meaningful. I don't see who is moving the pen. It means act of creation. But I am definitely sure it is the act of somebody who is conscious. So the author says, okay, man, reader, look at it now. Which one really confirms your reality? Which is true for you? Which does not contradict your human reality? That is important. That's why we always describe belief in the creator and, of course, the consequence of the believing in creator. The universe is meaningful, representing angelic side of the universe, and it must have a purpose because it's so meaningful. This necessitates the belief in the hereafter. Nothing is meaningless. When we see that, because we see only the tip of the pen. So when we look at the universe as it is going, we understand that the one who is writing this text is giving me the message for a purpose. This purpose looks to the end of it. Although we don't see the beginning and the end, the future of writing, the act of writing, but we have given the memory what has been written before and how it is going to follow. Wonder about the future, how the sentence is going to be completed. So when the sentence is completed, we get excited now. Now it means this. And this shows the quality of the writer, knowledge of the writer. It is disclosing his knowledge, his power, his qualities, whatever. The universe writing only represents knowledge. But the universe represents, the book of the universe represents all qualities manifested in it, which must belong to its writer, creator. So we will really imagine this, read ourselves. can I make this comparison within my own life now? Really, reflect on it. Does it really make sense? Which one is more human to follow? Denial and describing myself as a body only, or describing myself as spirit which understands the meaning in creation and interprets my being according to the meaning I am reading in the existence of the universe as well as in my own being. That's an excellent text to me. Satisfies me, I mean. But of course, it needs contemplation, reflection. Later on, we are just introducing the text here. Later on, go home and read it and really seriously think about it. It is a very meaningful text. Yeah. MashaAllah, this author is really very realistic. Doesn't accept belief for granted. Must be confirmable by human reason. And also human feelings confirm it here as we read it. My feelings say my reality. My feelings is my reality. My body is not my reality. It is completely changing. So we have to be honest within ourselves. That is belief. Briefly, we describe belief in these discussions. Belief is not contradicting your reality. Don't deny your reality. Although you may fail in practicing it. I mean, you understand that we don't really, I also experienced this. I don't really remember that I am created. My life is a written or a rolling writing, continuously writing something and letting me know. We may be neglectful, forgetful, and also we may fall back, but we have to be honest at the end. Now, although I'm not really up to it, but reality is this. I must accept it, confirm it. Thank you.
Thank you. Since I could see no good in that either, I switched my gaze to before me. I saw that the door of the grave stood open at the end of my road. The highway leading to eternity beyond it struck my gaze from afar. Since belief shows the door of the grave to open onto the world of light and the road to lead to eternal happiness, it was both a salve for my ills and a cure.
Again is the same.
Sorry?
Again
Uh-huh.
is the same frame of thinking. When I understand, I read the book of my life now and see what meaning I got from it, what experiences I got from it, where did I get them? Or all the expectations, feelings, and something I need, and it is really given to me, whatever I need. And then I finish the book, reading the book of my life. What happens? By the way, this is the Quranic example also. The Quran says, فَقْرَأُوا كِتَابَكَ. What? I think فَقْرَأُوا كِتَابَكَ. I think the verse is, read your book. A great scholar says, I really admire these people, exceptional people, but unfortunately, they are not common. in the Muslim world. It says, read the book of your life. That is what reality. And also the person who are reading is one of them, whose books are reading here is one of them. So great. Read your book here. Here is the analysis here. What we understand now, the book finished. What I do, I put the book back on its place on the shelf. What am I left with? What I understood from it. If I have understood from the book nothing, it is unbelief. It means I lost my life. There is no book. It wasn't a book anyway. It's a piece of paper because there was no meaning in it, no knowledge in it. It is very interesting how these unbelievers can bear their reality. Just really being neglectful about questioning their reality. That is why they can easily say, there is no God, the life is naturally happening, it's not human at all. So a believer puts the book aside and has the meaning in it and lives with the meaning he gathered from the book. That is eternal life. Necessitates the opportunity should be given to human beings to remain with this knowledge and live with it. Because what we understood from the transient, limited page of the book is the information about the absoluteness of its writer. Now, I must be given the opportunity to be in the presence of this writer. That is why the book starts from page 1 and to page 275, whatever it is. Finish. Now, some people's life book is 10 pages, some people's 100 pages. Depends on the decision of the writer. And we say, okay, that's your book. Go and read it and live with it. That is hereafter. Live with the information you got. If someone has no information at all, got it, because he didn't accept that this piece of this paper, the lump of paper, book, but they don't call it book. The universe is not a book. It's just a lump of matter, paper. And what they are left with, nothing about the Creator. That's what the Quran says. Let me remember the verse. عن ربهم محجوبون فيومئذ الله أكبر محجوبون عن ربهم محجوبون الله أكبر. What was the beginning of the verse? فيومئذ, something like this. It is in Surah section Mutaffifin. And the verse, it is very important actually. Let me look at my book. يومئذ عن ربهم محجوبون. يا كلا إنهم عن ربهم يومئذ لمحجوبون. مطففين 83. Take notes and read it. It's very interesting. 15. Verse number 15 and surah number 83. So Kella innehum an rabbihim yevmezin lemahcubun. Definitely, kella means definitely. Those people who denied the akhirah, next world, the hereafter, on that day, they will be completely mahjub. It means devoid of from their creator. They have nothing about their creator, and the creator will say, yeah, since you didn't learn anything from the book I gave you, and you went through it and you didn't see the meaning, you see only the traces of ink on it, and okay, go and ask the traces of ink to satisfy your meaning, what you want, human needs. You denied me, okay, you will be completely deprived of my favor here, because you didn't have any knowledge of me, so that I will treat you with this knowledge. That is why we have to try to make the most of our life to understand the knowledge inscribed in our life within the universe. Life is not worth wasting, actually. It's very precious, inshallah, inshallah.
Thank you. Thus, rather than receiving consolation and a feeling of familiarity, I felt only horror and fear at these 6 aspects. And apart from the faculty of will, I had nothing in my hand with which to withstand them and act in the face of them. Belief.
Same reality is here. I can make my life happy. That's why faculty of will, I can make my life happy. I can make money, I can do this and that, or entertain myself. Did you say this in this word? That you can guarantee your expectations? All right. Now, the analysis will continue. So we have to understand that it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try, but it will explain, the text will explain, while you are trying to get whatever you want from what the acknowledgement is needed from what God has provided for you. This consciousness is important. The one who creates the universe is providing you. So the text will say, I shouldn't interrupt the discussion or reading. The text will say, we will pay attention to it. Make your free will follow the will of the Creator by acknowledging Him and trusting in Him, what He gives you as an eternal, absolute being. So we have to be very, very conscious of what is going on in our life and how are we going to handle with our free will, not denying it, but at the same time, not regarding it, using it as the source of guaranteeing my expectations. But it is the fact that we have it. We have to use it in order to acknowledge the Creator's power and accept it. Whatever is given to me, it is from my Creator, inshallah.
Thank you. Belief gives a document for relying on an infinite power in place of the power of choice, which is like the smallest indivisible particle. Indeed, Belief itself is a document. But the human weapon called the faculty of will both lacks power and its range is short, and it is inaccurate. It cannot create, and apart from acquiring, can do nothing. Belief causes the faculty of will to be employed in God's name, and it makes it sufficient before everything it may face. Like when a soldier employs his insignificant strength on account of the state, he can perform deeds thousands of times greater than his own strength. It can neither penetrate the past nor discern the future. And in regard to my hopes and fears concerning these, was of no benefit. Belief takes its reins from the hand of the animal body and hands them over to the heart and spirit, and may therefore penetrate the past and the future. For the sphere of life of the heart and spirit is broad. Anything here for anyone? Okay. The arena of the faculty of will is brief, present time, and the passing present instant. Thus, despite all my needs and weakness, want and poverty, and my wretched state induced by the horrors and terrors arising from the 6 aspects, clearly written on the page of my being by the pen of power, and included in my nature, were desires stretching to eternity and hopes spreading through eternity. Indeed, whatever there is in the world, there are samples of it in my being. I am connected to everything. It is for them that I'm caused to work. The sphere of need stretches as far as the eye can see. In fact, wherever the imagination goes, the sphere of need extends that far. There is need there too. Whatever man lacks, he is in need of. Whatever man lacks, he is in need of. That which he does not have, he needs. And what he lacks is endless. But then the extent of his power extends only as far as his short arm reaches. That means my want and needs are as great as the world, whereas my capital is as infinite, I'm not sure how to say that word, infinitesimal as an indivisible particle. So of what use?
That
Sorry.
is free will. What I can create with my free will? Nothing.
Oh,
That, but
right.
choosing, while I am choosing, I should acknowledge that whatever I have chosen is given to me. It is not my production. It is my property. It's given to me. So As a human being, I must be honest and understand and accept that somebody is giving to me, provided whatever I needed for me. Acknowledge it and be grateful to it.
So of what use is the faculty of will, worth 2 pence in relation to my needs, which encompass the world and can only be obtained for millions of liras? They cannot be bought with it and cannot be gained by it, in which case one has to search for another solution. The solution is this, to forgo one's will and leave matters to the divine will, and to give up one's own power and strength, and seeking refuge in the power and strength of Almighty God, to adhere to true reliance on Him. O my sustainer, since the way to be saved is this, I forgo my own will in your way, and I give up my egotism. Then your grace may take me by the hand, out of compassion for my impotence and weakness, and your mercy may take pity on my need and indigence, and be a support for me, and open its doors for me. Yes, whoever finds the boundless sea of mercy surely does not rely on his own mirage-like will and choice. He does not abandon mercy and have recourse to his will. Alas, we have been deceived. We suppose the life of this world to be a constant, and so have lost everything. Yes, this passing life is but a sleep. It passes like a dream. This frail life flies like the wind and departs. Is this phrase here, I forgo my own will in your way, is it another way of saying accepting reality? Everything that he just described as of, as in that I have a lot of needs, but I cannot fulfill them. And that my power is whatever power I'm given, it's not enough to accomplish whatever I want. And I have infinite wants and desires. Is accepting all of that the same way of saying I forgo my own will in your way? Or maybe an open-ended question can be like, what do you think this means, this phrase means? Okay, I can think about it later.
I would take this as to acknowledge createdness.
Sorry, to acknowledge what?
Your createdness, that even your will has been given to you, and it has been given to you within a context of being created, and so I forgo my own will in your way is just acknowledging what the order of reality is that even though you have a will, it is given to you, and everything is sort of harmonious and interconnected in relation to a single creator, and that you acknowledge that using your will in recognizing and acknowledging this order and acting by this order is what I understand from this sentence.
In a simple example, I understand, in addition to what Farah said, in a simple example, the will is like a man who writes a petition to the state and says that I need help, knowing that the state, I mean, the laws are, that is different. Example, simple example, an analogy, knows that state says, whoever asks and how much, I will give. I am the one who gives it. So we are given the free will as the students of the state. So simple example. So we need to ask. Now, some people ask nature to give it to what it says. And nature doesn't have a consciousness. So automatically it gives it. But if someone believes this person is giving a petition and saying, I need this, and he knows that a conscious creator is providing it what I need. So either I will give up that I am going to gain what I need, and I will get from nature, whoever is powerful gets more, and struggle to get more. And I got this piece. I was lucky to get this piece. Of course, there is no source that it is given to him, so he has no understanding. This person has no understanding that the things are provided to him by the owner of the state of the universe. So he sees that I am making my life. That's what the expression we use, trying to make my life. Try to win my bread. We have to be careful. What are we doing? This understanding says, and the belief says, no, you are not making your bread. You are given the free will to ask me to give you your bread. How do I present my petition to the state of the universe? State says, if you want it, you have to follow these regulations, right? Go there to the office, write a petition, a letter, and present, express there what you need, and go to the office and give it to the cashier or the person who takes the petition, and go your home, wait for the state to decide what you really need according to your conditions. And then you will find the check according to what you want to need. And how the state knows you, what you need. Accordingly, he gives it. And then when I finish it, I will go again. When I finish use it, and I will go again and acknowledge it. By the way, this process is in a very simple context, presented to us between the prophet Yusuf, and his brothers who did not acknowledge his quality, was jealous of him and saying that let's get rid of it. Exactly. Materialists understand that belief is nothing. We have to make our own power acknowledged by our Father. What God, the Creator, put them in a position that they were needy. They understood, oh, there is a rich state there. They went there, got what the provisions, what they needed, and went there again, make a petition, and the state gave them what they needed for a year. At the end, they are expected to understand that it was, in fact, not a stranger state. It was their brother. It means, represents that it was the Creator who was providing it for us. This example must be taken into not Yusuf's brothers, but Yusuf. But this example must be taken our neediness and the one who provides it. Acknowledging the provider, going there and presenting a petition to the source of the Creator or owner of the state. That is how we are expected to understand. That is what means the brothers of Yusuf prostrating before Yusuf. That's an analogy. We have to prostrate before the one who is providing what we need. That is how the Quranic examples, especially wonderful, excellent prophetic examples, should be understood. Otherwise, it turns into a story, historical event. Unfortunately, Quran needs that kind of study. Unfortunately, not very widely used in this way. Quran is really ignored by people in general. Unfortunately, the real message is ignored. Okay, there is no need to feel guilty, but start our job. What our responsibility is? Study the Quran seriously. But this kind of text that we are reading is the preparation, how to get the meaning out of this wonderful text that presents everything in a symbolic, very basic, very simple way. And we shouldn't be miss the point saying that, it is an open book. I read it. Yusuf happened this. His brothers were jealous and his father was crying. Well, what a tragic scenario. Pointless. Missing the point. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think we can stop here and continue next week, inshallah. Do you agree, Brother Ali? I'm a bit hesitant of
No, I think it is time. And
it is
inshallah, we have a lot to study.
okay.
Read the text slowly, and really see how it resonates my reality. That is our homework, inshallah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, let's stop here. Thank you very much. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله